All right, today we're going to talk about artificial intelligence and specifically about the new FamilySearch artificial intelligence research assistant. It's in testing right now, but it's available for anybody who wants to use it to try it out. And it's working pretty good right now. So I think it's probably getting close to being ready to be under full release. Has anybody done anything with artificial intelligence? Some of you have. Okay. This is a little bit different. It's not ChatGPT. This is actually an assistant that's written by FamilySearch to help research your family line for you. Before we start, I've had requests to do a little bit of just basic computer skills. So we got about a 5-minute thing here on basic mouse, touchpad, and clipboard functions. Okay. On the mouse, when you're using a mouse, when you click the button on the left click, the regular click button, you can either use that to place a cursor or to open a link. On a touchpad, that's a single tap. Okay. So to place a cursor, you move the mouse to where you want it and click the left button. On the touchpad, you just tap the pad to place the cursor. Okay. To open a link, you put the mouse on the link and click the left button. Here's a link we're going to click on. Watch what it does when you click this link. Okay. That link opened a pop-up. You see how that did that? Okay. This is pretty basic stuff right now, but we've got a couple of things that are a little more advanced here in just a second. Okay, now we're going to open this link. If you watch, that link opened a web page in the same screen, in the same tab as the previous one. When that happens, to get back to where you were, you have to use the back arrow. Okay. Note that in FamilySearch, when you click on a link with the left mouse button, it's not consistent. They're working on getting them consistent, but right now it may open a pop-up, it may open a sidebar, and then it may open in a new tab or it may open in the same tab. You kind of have to remember which it's doing, because if you want to open in a new tab so that you can go back and compare it to the old tab, then you have to remember which screens do that and which ones don't. I think they're hoping to try and get that to where every time you click on one, it opens in a new tab, and then you can compare side by side if you need to. But if it opens in the same tab, then the only way to compare is to go back, look, and then come forward again and look, go back and forth with the arrows. Okay. Dragging to select stuff. You can use the mouse and the left pad to drag the mouse and select text, or to move stuff around after you've selected it. Okay, the way you do that is you put your mouse at the beginning of what you're going to select, hold the button down and drag it while you're holding the button down. When you get done dragging, let up on the mouse button. That just selected some text. Okay. To drag a object, here we're going to drag a tab. See the tab, the second tab over in this? If you grab a tab by holding the button down, keep the button down, and then pull down on the tab, it pulls it out of the screen. You can then move it over to the right side of the screen. If you go right to the center of the right side, it will show you where it's going to pop up. See the little we'll show you where it's going to, I went backward. I went ahead of, somehow I got ahead of myself here. Where'd it go here? Okay, one more. Okay. See the little pop-up here? That, it doesn't flash, but when you move a tab over to the right side of the screen, it has a little bar there that shows you where it's going to pop up that tab. So when you let go of the mouse, after the mouse is touching the right side of the screen, it locks that on the left, on the right side. Then it shows you what other windows are open, and you can select one for the left half. So that's a way to use the mouse to drag a tab over, so you can do a split screen, so you can see two screens side by side. Okay. Center scroll. This is the little roller on a mouse. If you hold it over a web page or over something that scrolls, you can roll that up and down, and sometimes that little roll button will zoom in and out. Sometimes it'll roll a web page like this. So you can go up and down with the scroll button. All right. Now this is a function I use a lot when I'm doing family history, because I use a mouse. The center click button. That little roller on your mouse is also a button. If you push down on that button, it opens, it forces, if the software will allow it, it forces the link to open in a new tab. So if the default on the left click is for it to open in the same tab, if you use the center click button, it'll open it automatically in a new tab, so you don't lose your old tab. Huh?
Doesn't work with mine. It just has the up and down.
Well, it depends on the software, so it depends on where you're at. But in FamilySearch, it does do that on a lot of places, and I'll show you some examples here. Okay, so here's an example here. We're going to push the left or the center mouse button down, and it will open a new tab. And you can then go up with your mouse and click on that and see the new tab. And see, the old tab is still there on the left. When we did the same thing, with the left button, then it opened in the same tab. But by doing it with the center button, it opened in a new tab. Now, if it doesn't work if it's not working, the next function is the right click. If you right click on your mouse, it brings up an options menu, and you can right click on a link or on selected text, and it pops up an options menu. I'll show you how that works. Okay, so here's a link. If you click on that with the right mouse, this options menu pops up. And in a lot of the options menus on link, well, the first option is to open the link in a new tab. So you can go over there and open it in a new tab. So you can use the right button if your center button's not working to open a link into a new tab.
Either one works for me.
Yeah.
I just opened FamilySearch.
After we're done at the end, let me check with you and we'll see if we can figure out why it's not working. Okay. If you right click on selected text, there's usually an option to copy the text. If you click on, then click with your left button to copy. The selected text is copied onto the Windows clipboard. How many of you are familiar with the Windows clipboard? You've heard of it at least. You know that when you copy something that goes on the clipboard. Did you know the clipboard has more than one thing on it? I'll show you that in just a second here. Okay, here's an example. Okay, let's say we want to paste some text right here. Paste some text that we just copied. Right click with your mouse. There's the paste button. Select that, and it pastes the last items copied to the clipboard is pasted. Now, here's another option, and this is something you may not have heard of before. You can actually open the Windows clipboard. The way you do this, you hold down the Windows key with one finger, and you press the V key. When you do that, the Windows clipboard will open on your screen. And it'll show you a list of all the last, depends on how many you've got configured. You can have up to 25, the last 25 items you've copied will be in that list, and you can scroll down. You can select anything you've copied in the last 25 copies and paste it into a document. So you go over, you select the item you want. It can be anything in the list, and hit and click the mouse, and it pastes it into the document. So that's the Windows clipboard.
So it was, you went to Windows.
Windows V. Hold down the Windows button and push the V. Okay, and the Windows clipboard will pop up. Okay. Anybody learn anything new?
Windows clip.
Windows clipboard
I use Control C.
and Control P. Yeah, they do the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
And then it
shortcuts.
saved it. It actually asks me.
Mhm.
Turn it
But
off.
if you actually remember you copied something 2 times ago and you want
Yeah.
to paste that, control or the Windows V will pull up the clipboard, and you can go down and find it and paste something that you've.
It didn't work until I turned it on.
Oh, yeah, you may have to go into settings and
When I
set.
hit Control V, it said you want to turn it on.
Okay. And you can also go into settings to put down how many it keeps in the clipboard, how many 25 is the maximum. All right. Now we're going to talk about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is basically software or computer programs that do a lot more things than just a regular do this and it does that. You can actually ask it a question, and it understands English and can respond back to you in English. Or it can, artificial intelligence can go out and find things that it knows you need and offer them to you. And FamilySearch has now is working on a research assistant using artificial intelligence. And we're going to talk about that today. Okay, so everybody go to google.com. Anybody that wants to turn this on, you can start using it right now. If you go to google.com, you can turn this on. We're going to do a search for FamilySearch Labs. FamilySearch Labs is a place you can go where you can try experiments that FamilySearch is working on that haven't been fully released yet, but you can try them out and experiment with them. So everybody got to that? Okay, push enter. And the first search in there is FamilySearch Labs. So let's click on that and open FamilySearch Labs. This is FamilySearch Labs. You'll need to log in with your FamilySearch ID if you're not already logged in. Click on sign in and use your FamilySearch username and password and sign in. Once you're signed in, it should look like this. Is everybody to that point yet that wants to be? Anybody that's still working on it? Everybody there? Huh?
It has several available.
Okay, if it's not working for you, you can
Well, it's got
you
different options.
yeah, there's different options here. The one we're going to try is the AI Research Assistant Lab Experiment. I've got it highlighted in red there. Can you see it? And where it says try it, we're going to click on try it. Okay, and then it comes up to this screen right here. Okay, now there's a tour available. It shows you how it works. I'm going to show you the tour on the screen, so don't do the tour on your laptop. But in just a minute, we'll have you start the experiment. But let me go through the tour on the laptop. on the screen here for you. So we're going to click on tour. And I'll zoom this in so you can read what it says. It says the AI research assistant can search and find people to add to your tree. It can find sources, it can answer questions, and it can suggest additional resources where you can research. Okay. Now, let's start the tour. Okay. Okay, this is the beginning of the tour. The AI research assistant finds names in your family tree and lists them on your home screen. It finds missing parents, children, or spouse in your tree. And it's a missing spouse, parent, or child to someone who's already in your tree. Okay. Here in this home screen here, it's showing 4 people that it found in this tree that are not in the tree that are related to somebody in the tree. Okay. Now we're going to click next to do the next step in the, okay, when you click, when on the home screen, you'll click on one of the names and it will take you to the home or the person page, takes it to you to the person page of the person that's already in your tree. And then over on the right, the research assistant is in that side panel. It shows you a vital record it found that has a new person in it. This one in the tour, in the tutorial here, found the spouse of Clara Bale, who is Samuel Hayes. Okay, you can take your mouse, click on that link, and go in and add the new husband to your tree, and now you've got a new person added to your tree. Okay.
Do you get a chance to say, look at it?
Yeah, you look at it and it comes up with, we'll go into full detail on how this works in just a minute. Okay. Another feature, and this is in the tour still, in Family Tree is from the person page, there's a link where you can turn on Ask AI Questions. And you can then carry on a conversation with the artificial intelligence. You can ask it questions, it'll answer. You can ask it another question. It remembers context. So if you ask it a question, you don't have to repeat that part of that question again. You can say, where was he born? How old was he?
Where do you
Where's-
ask the questions?
See in the lower right corner there? It shows you right here in one of this. Okay. Okay, right down here, see that little red square? That's where you type your question. And the tutorial here has typed in a question. Can you help me find Clara's parents? Okay, and then you click on and you push enter, and the assistant found this vital record right here that shows Clara's parents. You can then click on the vital record and you can add her parents. It's really simple. That's all there is to it. It's just real simple. Okay, now let's all start using it. Everybody who wants to, go ahead and click Start Experiment. Is there anybody that's to that point now? Maybe you've already started it. Okay. Okay, if it's not working for you, we can talk about it afterwards, but let's start the experiment. Okay, what happens is this page, this box comes up on your home page, your FamilySearch home page. Okay, and in the tutorial, it only showed 4, but now the tutorial has 5 names. This tutorial found 5 names in my chart that are not already in there. It found 5 new people, and it's got them there listed for me. And you should have something similar. Does anybody have a list of people it's found? Okay, we're going to look at some of these, so you can click on one of those and follow along what I do. And I'm going to click on one of these. Your home screen should look like this. something like this. Is that what it looks like? Okay. Then you click on one of the names. I'm going to click on the first one on mine. If you click on one of the names, it goes to the home screen, and over on the right side is the AI assistant. Okay. Now this is somebody in my chart. Let's click on view relationship. Everybody click on view relationship and see how they're related to you. Here, mine is through my mother's line in Norway. So I can see how I'm related. Everybody see that? How you're related to the person it found? Okay. Okay, click that back arrow there so we can go back. Okay, now over on the right, there should be a vital record. Does everybody see a vital record there? If you read what it says the AI assistant shows it shows a record. It says on mine, it says there's a record of a new child, possible child. Okay, if you click on that record, it brings up the record. There's a son that it found on my chart. And if you click on review or on attach to tree, you'll see the review and attach screen. Okay, here's the review and attach screen. And there, right there, is the new person. Does everybody have something similar where they have a new person that's not in your chart already? Okay, let's not add these right now. Let's just keep looking. I'm going to show you how to add them in just a minute. Okay, does anybody got something similar? Has anybody here got a new person that they found? You found one? Anybody else?
Found one.
Okay, several, 3 or 4. Okay, all right. Okay, now let's click on the details. See where it says details there for that new person? It may be in a different place on your screen, but what we're looking at when we look at the details, we want to look at names and places and dates and names of other family members and make sure that it looks like that person actually belongs in this family. You have to verify. If you look at those dates and places, they look good, don't they? This child was born in the same place that they were married. And it was born 6 years after the marriage, and it's the second child. Not for the new person. It should be over on the right side. It should say details over there somewhere. Details opens and closes the details on any person.
No.
No. Are you on the? No, you're not in the. Click on this.
Okay, I did that.
Click on it. Click on attach to tree. Scroll down. There's the new people. There's the details. So if you click on details there, not that, like lower. That shows you, that's the only detail it is for that person. You don't want to lower it down there. The child.
That's the child.
See, there's like details for that person. Everybody got it?
No.
Okay, what do you see? You get, AI assistant. And we'll get, if you didn't get to the AI assistant, we can do that at the end, but we gotta move along, so.
It was,
Well, scroll down.
Yeah, talking about it, they, you know, on his face.
So
So he was on
that's the one that's already there. These are the new people. There's the details. Okay. All right, we're gonna move along here real quick because we've already used half the time and okay. Okay, if you end up, look, you close those tabs, and if you end up with no tab to go back to the home screen, if you click on the Family Search icon, it takes you back to your home screen. Okay, now we can click on some of these others. I'm going to just scroll through some of these others real fast and show you that there's 5 new people here. I'm just going to scroll through them. See, there's the record. There's the new person. See them there. Click on the details. There's the details. Click on this next one. Research the details.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So if I say not a match, not gonna work for me, and I click no, then it goes away.
That one goes away and it'll find another one.
And I know, but somebody else coming into this, another one of my cousins and
Yeah.
wherever, if they get the same thing, that person won't come up for them.
It might not. It depends on what, if you say it's not a match and you say, I can't tell whether it's a match, it might show it to somebody else again. Yeah. There's one that's, when you say not a match, it gives you options. You can say, I can't tell, or the dates don't match, or the people don't match, or whatever. Okay. So here's some more. If you notice here, I've gone through and found that it showed 4 new people for me. The very last one here, if you look at this last one, some of the places are a little bit different. The counties are the same. So when that happens, I like to go to Google Maps and enter those dates, those places. And I entered both places, and there's Florida, New York, and there's Ansville, New York. They're just right next to each other. So it's basically the same place, even though the names are different. Okay. Now I'll show you how to ask questions of the AI assistant from a person page. So I'm going to open a family tree chart. Here's a family tree chart, and I'm going to open my third great grandfather, David Garlick's person page. And I'm going to go to his person page. Right there is the AI assistant. And if I click on open here, it opens the sidebar. And this is in the assistant where you can ask questions. So I'm going to ask the question, where was David born? And the assistant says he was born in Lebanon, New York. And if you read what it says there, it says, David was born in Lebanon, New Jersey, while the person information says that he was born in Bedford, Pennsylvania. The documents indicate that he was actually born in Lebanon, New Jersey.
That's what the christening says.
Yeah, that's where the christening is. But there was a, anyway, the next question I'm going to ask is, where did he die? It says that he died in Nauvoo, Illinois. I'm going to ask, where were his ancestors from? I click on that. It says that his ancestors were from New Jersey and Pennsylvania. And if you read about it, there's a whole bunch of information there that they talk about. And this scrolls up, and you can go back and read your conversation, scroll them back and forth and read the conversation. Here, how many children did he have? She says he has 7, and he names all 7 of the children. Anyway, that's how you can ask any kind of question you want. And they told us at Roots Tech that this is going to get smarter and smarter and smarter. So if you ask a question and it doesn't have an answer for you, come back in a month and try it again. Okay. Says his father was born in New Jersey. And now we're going to, so now instead of trying to do stuff on your laptop, what was your?
It's a little slow, right?
It depends on, a lot of it depends on how fast your connection is, how fast your computer is, and how busy the servers are. But yeah, it's not instant like it is on my slides.
It's been at least a minute now.
Yeah, sometimes it takes longer than others. And I've also noticed that sometimes this is still an experiment. So sometimes I've had it kind of act like it's not working. And turn it off and restart it, and it's fast. So they're still working on this software. It's still in beta testing right now.
I found no children from my grandfather.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoops.
Okay, did you
I
have,
think you're bogged down, it's the firewall here at the center, we have fiber optic network, but it's as slow as dial-up some days,
yeah,
so that's where you're getting bogged down.
yeah, but that shouldn't matter with fiber optics. Anyway, okay, now just watch from now on. I'm going to show you how to actually go in and add somebody and not just look at them, okay? So we're going to select a person on there here. This is a person where the AI research assistant has found a new spouse that's not in the system, okay? Here's the link. All we have to do is click on that link. Here's the record. There's the new spouse. Oh, there's also a daughter, a husband and a daughter, both in this record. Click on attach to the tree. There's the husband, there's the daughter. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and attach this now. I'm going to attach Sophie's resident, or going to look up what I was doing here. If you look on the left, the residence doesn't look the same as it is on the right. On the left is the vital record, on the right is the tree. So let's look up the residence in FamilySearch. There's the residence. Let's look at the residence of this one, this side. Okay, they're right there next to each other. You'll find in, and let's do the same with the residence for this one. That one's right there. You'll find that in Norway, under residence, a lot of the extracted information is actually the house or the church or the town hall, or all in the same place. So you can have 5 or 6 different residences that look different, but they're all the same place. What? I just opened a new tab. If you go right up here, see the little plus sign? Just clicked on that and I typed Google Maps. Or close it and reopen it next time you need it. Yeah. And then when I got to Google Maps, I just pasted right here into the maps the name, and it showed it to me on the map. I circled these with here in the. Okay, now let's go ahead and attach this source to Sophie. This is the original person that was in our record, and we're going to attach that to her. Now we're going to add the new husband. When you click on add, it populates over on the right, a new person. Click create new person. Okay, now we can attach the source to the new person. Let's create the new daughter. It populates it over on the right. I had to add the surname because it only had her first name over here.
So you added the.
I typed in the surname. Now, because this is Norway, you kind of have to hope you're guessing right on the surnames, because sometimes the surname is the first name plus SEN, or the first place plus daughter or daughter. And sometimes, but I did the research, and after about 1900, almost everybody's just taking surnames. They're not doing the daughter or the son. And this was 1900, so I assumed that it was just the same surname, and I was correct when I did it. Okay. Okay, now I just added the baptism information and attached that. Okay, now let's open the husband's page. This is the brand new husband that we just barely added. Okay, open his page by hitting person over here. Now look at this. The AI assistant has found 6 more record hints for the husband. This husband was never there before, so all those record hints were not attached to him because he wasn't even there. Now there's 6 more record hints, and there might be new people in all of these record hints. I always look at them and see if they need to be attached. I just clicked on one, and let's click at this.
So if something is incorrect. How do you get rid of it?
Just mark, not a match. There's an option usually for that. Okay, here's that first record hint, and there's another new daughter. Okay. So, and it also has a location for the new husband that we created. And we didn't have a location from the last record. So we can click on edit, and we can type the residence and save it. Now we can attach this hint to him, and now we have his, now we can go ahead and attach this to the spouse and to the existing daughter that we already have in here. These are that's the new daughter. Now we can create this new daughter. And this one had the surname already in the vital records. See, and I was right on when I guessed on the surname for the other daughter. So now we can attach this information. Now that source is attached to all 4 of those people, and 3 of those are brand new people. Let's go back here. Now let's look at this next hint. There was 6 of them. Now there's 5 left. See, let's click at this one. Let's take a look here. There's another one. There's another daughter. Let's do the same thing. Let's attach it all the way through. Have to go fast through this because we got a lot to cover here. I'm going to type in the last name. You got to scroll down to get to create the new person, and attach the baptism and attach the source. Now I've got 3 children. We started with 1 person, Sophie. And so far we've got a husband and 3 children. We're back to here. Click on the next hint. There's another name, huh? Right. The AI assistant doesn't just look at indexing, but it also looks out on the web. I've had it find stuff for me at Find My Past. I've had it find new stuff for me at Find a Grave. It's found new people all over the place, not just in the indexing. Okay.
Really Baptist, that's church baptism.
That's a baptism, like in the Norway, over in Norway, some church over there back in the 1800s. Okay. It's probably a christening or a 1-drop baptism. A sprinkling. Right. Okay, so I'm going to attach this. I'm going to attach it to the wife. And now I'm going to create the new son. This time it's a son. Okay, we're going to have to add the last name and scroll down, and we're going to create the new son, attach the baptism date, and attach the source. Now that source is now attached to the parents and the new son. Now we got 2 left. Let's look at them. Here's another son. And this son has 2 middle names, actually the last name is the same as the mother's last name. That could be a middle name. It could be a last name. We don't know for sure, but we're going to go ahead and attach this to the parents. Now we'll create the new son, and I'm going to add the father's last name to this. It put that mother's last name in the last name as well. I'll just leave it there. That's the way the record showed it. Okay, and attach this baptism. Okay, now that son's added. 1 more record left. Let's take a look at it. There's another daughter. And that daughter is the first daughter that we added. And there's another vital record for her. So there's 2 vital records for this daughter. We're just going to attach. And this one has a middle name for the daughter. The first one didn't have a middle name, it only had a first name. Let's attach it to the parents first. Now let's attach let's attach this source, and there's the baptism date. We're gonna attach that, and we're going to open this. Notice the middle name there. We're gonna click on her person page. Now I'm gonna do a split screen. I'm gonna pull down on this tab, go over to the right, and lock it. Now I can see on this side her last name, and over here I can click on edit button, and I can add her last name there, her middle name, I mean. I just added her middle name and save that. Okay, now let's go to Sophie's page. This is the mother that was already in FamilySearch. Okay, she has a vital record too. Let's click on that. It looks like a census. Okay, this is a census from when she was 16 years old. See, it says she's single. So this is a census that was taken before she was even married. She was married. Her first child was in 1899. The census was 1891. She was 16 years old. So let's attach this census to her. Okay, now let's go in and reserve the ordinances for all this whole family of 6 we just found. Let's go in, you hit request. And this is a new pop-up that didn't used to be there. You now has a link for the reservation policies. It used to show you the policies and you had to accept the policy and then accept. Now it says accept the policy. And if you want to read the policy, you have to click on the link. So we just request that. Now her ordinances, or Tony's ordinances, the husband are in my reservation list. Let's do the same for the children. I'm going to open their person page, request the ordinances, and I'm going to do the second child, request the ordinances. Her ordinances are there now. I'll do the third child, person page, ordinances, request her ordinances. Request these ordinances. Got one more, I think. Last one. Okay, now all those ordinances are now, if I click on the temple tab up here and click on my reservations, here's those people that we just reserved. And I can scroll down, there's 3 pages of them. I just reserved I found that whole family with one record hint from the AI research assistant. And I didn't have to look hard for this when I was preparing this. I just clicked on that one link and did all 6 of these all in a row without doing any other research. It just found all that whole family for me.
This would be regarded as reliable.
It's
Have a high reliability.
high reliability, yes, but you still have to verify that it's correct because it can make mistakes.
As you were going through. We would spend more time.
Right, I was verifying as I was going through and looking at the details.
So it wasn't quite as fast as you showed.
It's still pretty fast, but yeah. Okay, now when you come back to the home page, it's searching for a fifth person again now. That one is done and now it's going to search for another one. Now there's 5 more. Okay, now we have 5 names that the research assistant has found for us to review. There's spouses and children and it didn't find any parents, but it's got a child, spouse, child that it's found. Okay. Now, you can also ask the research assistant for help with research questions. So we're going to, from a home page, any home page, if you've got the research assistant turned on, this banner is there and you can click on open. You can open it and start asking questions. We saw that in the tour in the beginning. Let's do it in here. Here is one of my this is a landscape chart of my family. And here is a person. I'm going to click on this person in this pedigree chart here. Okay, and I'm going to go to their person page. Okay, this is a person page of one of my relatives. Okay, notice this person has no spouse, has no children, and has no record hints over here in the research help box. I'm going to click on the research assistant and click open. You can ask the research question, any question you want to just by typing it right there. Or the research assistant offers some sample questions you can ask. I'm just going to click on this sample question that says, who was Leslie H. Taylor married to? That's one of the sample questions. And see, we have no spouse. I'm going to click on that. And the assistant found a burial record that mentions a husband. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. This is what it says. It says that Ada M. Stevens Taylor is identified as a spouse of Leslie H. Taylor, indicating a marital relationship. It found a wife, right? A spouse. Okay, so here's the link. So let's click on this link. It found this person in Find a Grave right there. Family member, spouse, Leslie H. Taylor. And remember, in FamilySearch, no spouse. So if we click on this link right here, here's her page right here. Okay. Now I'm gonna do a split screen. I'm gonna pull down on this tab right here, and I'm gonna move it over to the right, lock it, and then I'm gonna open this other tab side by side, huh?
Pull it to the right and lock it.
I pulled it to the right and locked it on the right side of the screen. That's a function of Windows. It works in anything, not just in FamilySearch. You just move the mouse, you grab the tab, you hold the button down, you pull down on the tab comes out of the browser, and then you drag it over until the mouse hits the right side edge in the center of the screen on the right side. When the mouse hits it, there'll be a little banner there that shows you where it's going to pop up. You let go of the mouse and it pops up in that banner. That's all a Windows function. You can do that in anywhere in Windows. It doesn't have anything to do with FamilySearch. Okay, it's called a split screen. And Windows will do all kinds of screens. I mean, you can have 4 screens on at once. You can go up in the upper right corner and it'll just lock it in the upper right corner of the screen. That's all a function of Windows. Okay, so now here is the new spouse on the right, and we're gonna click on Add Spouse over here in Family Tree. Click on that, it pops up. We can copy all this information from the Find a Grave page, put it in here, and create the new spouse. You have to, or you can copy and paste. Yeah. Yeah, but this isn't a review and attach screen. It's actually found this record out on the internet somewhere. So you're gonna have to type in or copy and paste the information. Okay. Okay, now let's open Ada's person page. This is the new person that we just created. Here's her person page. Now look, she's got AI found 2 more. It found that Find a Grave index for her. So we can go ahead and click on that, and we can add that burial information now without having to type it. And then hit attach. Okay, now we can close this tab because we're in a second tab. And let's review this death certificate. Here's a death certificate too. We click on that and open it. There's a death certificate. And you know what? It's a death certificate for a son for this couple. So we didn't just find a new spouse. We found a new son. Okay, let's attach this death certificate to the parents. And let's create the new son. Now, this son was born in 1938, but it has a death date, died in 1940, 2 years old. So we can add the son because we have a death date. If it's over 110 years old, you can't add it without a death date. Okay, so let's create this son and attach. Okay, now we can't do that son's temple work because he's not 110 years old. You have to have permission. You have to have permission, but we can do Leslie's, so, or Ada's. So let's go ahead and reserve Ada's ordinances. So now Ada's ordinances are in my temple reservation list. Okay, now remember this page for Ada? There's Ada's parents and Ada's two siblings. There are additional people there. So it just goes from one to the, I mean, you just keep compounding. Now, Ada is only related to me through marriage. So if I were to add these parents, I couldn't do their temple work. Or if I were to add these siblings, but I could add them so somebody else would have them. Okay. I couldn't request the ordinances. It won't let me. It used to let you. Now, if you're not related, it won't let you request ordinances. It'll come up and say you're not related. So if it says, if you click on request ordinances and they're green, you're related. It used to let you request any ordinances, but now you can only request ordinances for people you're related to.
So it doesn't come up to the screen, do you have permission?
It doesn't say, no, well, it'll say that if you're related and they're over 110 or less than 110 years old, it'll say you need permission.
Okay.
But if you're not related, it won't even give you the option to reserve the record, even with permission. Okay, now that's the end of the little discussion on the AI research assistant, but there's two more in there I wanted to show you. This is a help chat bot. Now this is searching, you know, when you go in and you click on help and you type a question or you ask a question, there is now a help bot. And if you turn this on, when you go to help, you can ask questions and carry on a conversation with help instead of just asking a question, get a result, ask another question, get a result. You can carry on a conversation. So you don't have to retype the question so that they understand the question. So you can say, what records are available in Situate, Massachusetts? And it'll tell you a bunch. And you can say, are there any censuses? And it'll tell you. And you say, and are there any birth records? You don't have to go back and say Situate, Massachusetts again. You're carrying on a conversation just like in a chat. So that's the AI chatbot. That's also in FamilySearch Labs. You can turn that on and practice with it. It's still in beta testing. This is another one. Expand your search with full text. What this one does, the AI, the artificial intelligence, will go out and search records that haven't been indexed yet. And it can read cursive. So you can type a name, a full name, and it will go look through. I think there's like 100 million documents out there so far that they've added to this, and they keep adding more of things like probate records, court records, historical records, scan books, and it will go scan through all of those and try to find the names that you type, and it'll give you hits. So you can now search through probate records that haven't been indexed. And a lot of them can't be indexed because there isn't really a good way to index probate records. And so the this research bot will do a full text search. Okay. So that's the end of my presentation. I have a little. There we go. That's the.
It's good, thank you.
We could talk about it so much. That's a wonderful presentation. Thanks.
Okay. All right. If there's any questions anybody has, like I can stay after for a minute and help, or you can ask some questions.
If I've got a brick wall, can I ask it if it can find parents?
Sure.
Okay.
Go to the last person on your list. Go to their person page and click open the research bot and ask it, say, can you find me some parents for this person? And if it can't find them now, they told us that Roots Tech, if you can't find it now, try again in a month. Because they keep adding more and more and more capabilities, and it's starting to crawl all over the internet and look even more and more. They keep adding more and more places it looks.
If you're looking for somebody who's an immigrant from Ireland and you don't have any idea where, or parents would just do the same thing.
Yeah, you can ask it anything. You can just experiment. Just go in and turn on the chat on the, if you go to that help chat bot, you can go in there and say, where can I find these kind of records? And it'll tell you. It'll look through the whole wiki. It'll look through all the help screens. It'll look through everything and tell you where you can look to find research. Or if you go to the person page and ask the research robot assistant, you can ask it questions and it might be able to help you. They're going to add more and more capabilities to that research bot as time goes on, but right now it's mostly looking at records and finding new people for you. Right now, that's the main focus of it.
I was looking for a fourth child. A woman had 4 children
Mhm.
living in the 1900 census, and I couldn't find anything. And so I went to that and I said, who's the other child? And it was like the next day,
Uh-huh.
I couldn't find anything. The next day, I asked that question and it came up, Joseph is the name. But there was no, it said there is no documentation or something,
Uh-huh.
but it said the name. And it was the next day that I just looked, so
Uh-huh.
it was fascinating.
Yeah,
And
it's
so I
that,
just put him in, but maybe
Yeah.
tomorrow something will come up with the source.
right. And eventually it will probably, they're gonna add more and more places that it'll search. It's gonna probably, I don't know for sure when or if, but it might start searching the pedigree resource file. And that's where people have uploaded trees that are different from what's in family tree, and it might find somebody else thinks it's this. So, and then you can look at their research and see. Any other questions or?
I think we're overwhelmed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit, but I find in that and having, it has a kind of a trouble finding the relationships correctly. If the names are similar. And so it'll pop up and think, if you've got 3 names, John 1, 2, 3, it gets mixed up on the relationships.
Yeah, relationships,
Because it doesn't know which one's which.
yeah, well, relationships in family tree, the relationships are pretty standard. Because it knows whether it's a parent or child or husband or spouse or,
But
but
sometimes
in
it's wrong.
in indexed records,
Yeah.
they're indexed. The relationships that are shown in indexes
But even when
are
it-
sometimes based on the index, not based
The
on,
relationships, it'll take in-laws and put them as siblings.
yeah, it
And
can,
then people add it, and then I've got to go and fix it because it's
Yeah.
like, just
Well-
because the AI is saying that's them, you need to go and look at.
yeah, you need to make sure everything's
read the
correct.
obituary and see if it's messed up
Yeah,
before you attack.
yeah, you have to do your own verification of everything.
Can you help us do the AI?
Sure. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is amazing.